myself on screen at the minute, but I need a thumbnail. I need it. There you go. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Sunday, 2nd of February. Shit, man. February the 1st went really quick. Like, it just blasted through. That's 24 hours. We're kind of like... I had a plan that for the whole of February, I was just going to go hardcore, including the 1st. But yesterday got really, really messed up, so we're kind of here on the 2nd. But excited about my book still, The Daily Stoic. I've realised now, after a month of the clarity section of January, that this is broken down into quarters. So there's 3 quarters in here: perception, action, and will. So January to April, May to August, September to December. And we're just starting in passions and emotions for this month. March is going to be awareness. April is going to be unbiased thoughts. So I'm kind of excited about reframing a lot of the things I consider and think about to do with perception, action, and will. And today's, the 2nd of January, was a proper frame of mind. And I love the motivations in this book. Like, if you ever, like, I've looked through one of those books where you kind of need these kind of positivity or upbeat things to just give you a little bit of a pep talk. These are a little bit different for me. They give me a bit of clarity to frame my words as to where I'm at. January was bloody good in a lot of ways, even though it went really quick and even though work was up and down. The start of January is incredible. I'm hoping for the end of February to be incredible, not the start of February, although, you know, if something happens, that would be amazing. But February to me is going to be like all man to the pumps. I feel like there's something building up that I'm meant to be working on, or I should be learning, or I should just be like executing on. I would love to get to design this legacy app thing on Peppo on OST. Probably asking why OST rather than Steam. Well, mainly because how Peppo has proven to me that they can take their own dog food, their own SDK, and spin up an app and do what they've actually managed to do with it in terms of, you know, connecting up their SDK, spinning up their own token for Peppo, integrating the Genosis safe for a secure wallet, and then styling and designing the iOS app. And I'm kind of excited to see the next version of the app, because I know that they're doing channels and communities. So I mean that instead of like bumping into loads of people on the feed, we'll just be able to look into our own little group. So I'm really excited to make a little Stoic group, make a little video streamers or like OBS or gamers or things that I'm interested in, and having channels around that rather than just be dumped in with all the people who like everything to do with Ethereum, for instance. What else? Oh yeah, so I've not got around to doing the legacy stuff yet in Sketch, although I do have a 3-month trial with that, mainly because I don't feel like I've got to the level yet where my residuals are like on free play and I just have to like spend a week, a month to kind of keep on improving those. I did have a couple of like excuses in the last couple of weeks where I was like, oh, I don't have the right hardware, or I don't have like a better camera, I don't have this. Actually, you know, a lot of that stuff, even if I had the decent camera, even if I had like the little switches and an additional screen and all the bits and pieces that I would need to make things work, you still got to have the content. You still got to have the context of the content. You still got to be able to write the stuff out. You still got to be able to play with it and then record your experiences with it and kind of almost get that across to an audience who are looking at this from a completely different perspective. And the reason why I say that is that when I went to a meetup group last month and did my presentation, which was about 15 minutes long, yes, I was really, really fast like I am now talking, but people were like, that totally went over my head. I don't know what it is. Can you explain it to me? And I realized that there's going to be lots of different ways to explain the same thing to lots of people. I kind of see it as Wimbledon, you know, like the Wimbledon with the tennis. There's like often 100 different camera angles set up by the BBC team. And I kind of see that as digital information is coming out now with like blockchains and the way they work and DAOs and all these new definitions and terms that people are just like, what does this mean? How does this work? Because it's not just learning a new skill, it's often unpacking behavior from existing ideas that you have in your head about value and money itself. And so it kind of like reframes the way that you've been living. It's not just like learning how to play hockey or learning the way you should be on a football field. It's way deeper than that. So you can't just unload that information to somebody and expect them to just adapt to it and just suddenly start doing it, because they have all this other baggage that they bring with them. And I've noticed that a lot with myself and reading these books. I mean, me and Dale used to read a lot of these like Higgy books in terms of like creating little almost little places for comfiness. And then I realized that actually the characters that we both are, we kind of need a little bit of something on the day-to-day to rile us up so we can find solutions for it. It's kind of interesting how that's manifested, but that's where we are on this Sunday. Dale's still struggling with her health right now. She's got things happening this week though, which is good. She's going hardcore nutrient rich on soups this week. And I'm kind of excited to see how that works out, because we're switching it up to this kind of like high strength bone broth because of the amount of like quality releasings of can't think of collagen and other things that help muscle regen. Because if we can kind of get the system to start regenerating faster, that would be better. Passionate and emotion vibes. I know the passion part is, I know I'm passionately set for February, but I'm a bit concerned and on edge about the emotion vibes of it. Maybe I'm gonna like see emotion completely refamed for me this month, the same way that momentum and clarity was the difference in January. I truly believe that all my Januaries are going to be completely different from now on. I feel like Januaries are not just going to be like, oh, this refreshing, like, oh, we have another year, we have another, time to go again. I feel like now it's going to be, right, where am I at? Let's spend 4 weeks of January with like epic clarity. The ultimate right now, if I'm honest, would be to do a cruise in January, like maybe from New Year going into like the first 2 weeks of January. I would love to like plan for the end of the year to be somewhere for a new year, either on a boat or moored up, and then travel for that first 2 or 3 weeks and take that clarity and put that into like either a book or a pre-prepared course that I can record. Thing is, how do I get a green screen on a cruise ship? Maybe I need to design a super lightweight version of one. Anyway, you have a great Sunday wherever you are in the world. Highly recommend picking up a book about Stoicism, even if you're really not interested in anything like that. I'm sure there's going to be something in meditations, wisdom, and perseverance that everybody can apply to their own life in some way. And if nothing else, it gives you a set of keywords to frame your day, even if you're not really familiar with those words. So I'm finding that incredibly useful. So props to Ryan Holiday for putting that together. All right, I will catch up with you soon. You have a fantastic day wherever you are on planet Earth, and respect nature. Chuck some of that plastic in the bin. Recycle. Eat sustainably. I'll see you tomorrow.
Drifting slowly into an empty space.